Fanfiction Library. How the fifth spirit of the Enchanted Forest killed Elsa. And no, this is not a typo. Okay, I guess I have to explain. First off, Elsa isn't a gift, like Anna said in the sequel. She's technically a failsafe. And to fully understand what I mean, I'm going to have to tell you a story. A long time ago, north of the kingdom of Arendelle, there stood an enchanted forest. The forest was protected by the spirits of nature: fire, water, earth, and wind. The four visible spirits lived in harmony with the Northuldra, the people of the forest. Then, after years of peace, the people of Arendelle came up from the south and entered the forest. The Arendelle invaders poisoned the forest and struck down the leader of the Northuldra. The Northuldra retaliated against the Arendelle invaders and went to war. The spirits, angered by the fighting, intervened, banishing most of the invaders and trapping the Northuldra within the forest. It was then that a mysterious fifth spirit would be called to make an appearance. Thus, the birth of Elsa, our beloved Snow Queen. Then the events of the movies happened. Simple and sweet, right? I don't think it really is. Elsa isn't the fifth spirit. At least, she's not the first person to be the fifth spirit. Hear me out. The fifth spirit was rumored long before Elsa was born. Remember, in the movie, Honeymaren used Iduna's scarf to explain what this fifth spirit was to Elsa. And according to her brother Ryder, the scarf is from one of their oldest families. So long story short, the scarf is really old. Which means that the Northuldra have been aware of the fifth spirit for generations. Which begs the question, how did the Northuldra discover the fifth spirit? They can see the other four, but they've never seen the fifth one, or have they? Especially considering that the spirit has been known as the bridge between us and the magic of nature. How do they know it exists? The answer is that Elsa wasn't the first person born with powers. And no, I'm not talking about Rapunzel. What I think made the Northuldra aware of the fifth spirit is another child born with powers. Maybe not exactly like Elsa's, but definitely similar. Why was another person born with magic then? Well, Elsa has that answer. She was born to tame the forest spirits once they were angered, and what's to say that hasn't happened before and someone with magic was needed to fix everything? It might be some kind of cycle. The spirits of nature are angered, and the fifth spirit chooses someone to be born again, and as a person, and that person sets everything right. So, was Elsa chosen to be born as a reincarnation of this fifth spirit? This would have prevented Elsa from having an entirely normal life if that happened. Heck, thanks to the fifth spirit, she might not even be related to Agnar and Iduna. Sure, Iduna definitely gave birth to Elsa, but that doesn't mean they're genetically related. Because the chances of dark brown Iduna and Goldilocks Agnar would have a child with hair as light as Elsa's are pretty slim, even though I don't know that much about genetics. This could mean that the fifth spirit, besides giving her powers, also altered Elsa's genetic makeup. For what reason it would do that, I don't know. Maybe the white hair is a trademark. But this means that the fifth spirit might have robbed Iduna and Agnar of a daughter, and later their own lives. Anyway, Elsa could be the latest reincarnation of a fifth spirit that keeps everything in order. And might not actually be related to her parents. Or sister. Okay, that last part kind of sucks. But if she is part of a line of people chosen to be reincarnations of the fifth spirit, how cool would that be? Pun intended. If she is the latest in the line of the fifth spirit reincarnations, then what happened to her predecessors? Why wasn't one there when the spirits were angered by the fighting between Northuldra and Arendelle in the first place? What happened to them? We know that Elsa's immortal. So, if her predecessors, if they existed, and were somewhat like her, dying of old age is out of the question. But we know that she has limits and can even freeze if she goes too far into Ahtohallan. Maybe her predecessors went too far, searching for answers that cost them their lives or something even worse. Guess we'll never know. But why Elsa? Remember, Ryder did say that there were other children that were born in the forest, and surely the problem would have been fixed much faster if the fifth spirit chose someone that was already in the forest. But at the same time, choosing someone who had never been to the outside of the forest would have killed many innocent lives. Like Kristoff said, if that dam broke, it would send a tidal wave so big it would wash away everything on this fjord. The person would have to have some kind of connection to the outside, so they wouldn't do something that would unconsciously take so many innocent lives. But the fifth spirit wouldn't want to choose some random outsider that had no connection to magic at all. They would have to be close enough to the forest to get there, and they'd have to know some amount of Northuldra myth. It would have been pretty easy to assume that all the people that were previously chosen by the fifth spirit were Northuldra. So considering that it worked out so many times before, and the Northuldra had lived in harmony with nature for a long time, it makes sense that the fifth spirit would prefer to choose someone with a connection to them. This is why Elsa was a perfect choice to be the next reincarnation. She was born on the outside, and through Iduna she had a connection to the Northuldra. Even though she might only be half, if the fifth spirit didn't change that, she and maybe Anna would have been candidates to choose. Elsa simply got there first. In conclusion, there might be a much deeper story to the fifth spirit than we previously thought. Will Disney go in this direction? I doubt it. But there is room for this theory to stand. We really don't know how much has to Holland and Northuldra history. And if we do go this direction, it's actually really sad. Elsa was never given a choice. The fifth spirit took the life of a young girl and changed her destiny. But in the end, it's just a theory. See y'all later. Please like and subscribe to the video for more stories and maybe even more theories in the future. Bye!